Hello everyone, welcome to another stream of Apollo Justice Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. Hopefully everyone is doing good. Hopefully all is well. I'm going to get in my chat room and I'm going to, I guess, talk to this guy. For some reason I can't interact with like things. I can't view like the background for some reason. Was that a thing in the last game? I don't remember. Oh well, whatever. Let's talk to this strange guy, this Bobby Fulbright. Hey, stars over to Hyrule. What's up? It's good to see you here today. You are the first one here. How's life been treating you? So, would it be okay if we had a look around? Certainly not. No unauthorized personnel allowed. Couldn't you make an exception? Cease and desist at once, or you'll have to deal with my little friend here. Yikes! Is he reaching for his injustice? We trust. Bobby Fulbright, detective. Huh? Phew! Just his badge. You may be Mayor Tenma's attorneys, but you still need authorization to cross a police line. Apollo, let's see if we can't change his mind. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. I bet he's as dense as heroes come. I'm doing good, thanks. I'm surviving. I'm doing well. I'm playing Ace Attorney games, so I'm happy. Well, I'm glad you're doing good too. Puts on, makes you feel ready. Go back. Present. Justice needs backup sometimes too, so I don't mind you asking for help, but you should start by thinking things over yourself. After all, the road to justice starts with our own first steps. Ha 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 ha. Damn, y'all started early. Actually, this is my normal time when I go live. I always make sure to go live 5 minutes earlier, just in case things get messed up and wrong and stuff. But what's up? Welcome to Detective Hero right here. If you don't have any information to offer, you could just say so. Persuasion. You're wasting your time and mine. Nobody's crossing this line without authorization. I'm a wall of justice at bay. At keeping injustice, that would be you, at bay. Shenanigans by the way of Tears of the Kingdom. Ooh, nice. What shenanigans did you get up to? I knew it. Look, there's just us and you here, right? Justice and me, you say? That's right. Are you trying to say that Justice and I aren't enough to keep you out? What? No, silly. We're saying that you're an inspiration in our quest for justice. No, it can't be. You have him on the ropes now, Athena. If we were on the side of justice, would you let us through? But guarding the crime scene is a part of justice too. Sure. But only a bad guy would stand in the way of justice, right? Arg! Whose justice is the most just here? Well, we can't have a fair and just trial without a thorough investigation, so... Oh, Lady Justice, what would you have me do? I think we really got to him. Yeah, he seems pretty neurotic as far as champions of justice go. Our pleas for justice must have had a huge impact. It's tying him up in knots. Now's our chance to start looking around. After all, that's about authorized personnel only. That was surprisingly easy. Should I stop them or let them through? Whose justice is more just? Well, let's get to work. We're supposed to be finding clues related to the crime, right? Right. A search of the crime scene should turn up some evidence we can use at the trial. Let's try viewing the crime scene first from different angles. You never know what's hiding just around the corner, right? So we're moving the cursor with blip, 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 and change the perspective with RR. If there's a particular spot you want to examine, just give it a tap. Okay, let's leave no stone unturned. Non allons commencer. Let's get started. Hey Mafia Bay, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to this game. The murder of the crazy things going on here with this game. The Forbidden Chamber. They say the demon Tenma Tara was imprisoned in there before his escape. Think we could get this door open? It's worth a try. No good. It's shut tight. I don't even see a keyhole. Seems pretty hopeless. In justice we trust. Yikes! Did I just hear the voice of someone in need? By the way, Mafia Babe, this is the new detective. This is our new Detective Gumshoe / Detective Sky. Allow me to fill you in. This door simply will not open. We've tried and tried, but it won't budge. It's an essential part of the culture found in this manor, so we can't blow it up either. So an unopenable door. Right. According to Miss Jinxie Tenma, it was shut tight when she came across the crime scene. Thanks for the tip, Detective Fulbright. We didn't expect you to be so helpful. Ah, forget I just said that. So the Forbidden Chamber was shut tight at the time of the murder. Sounds like something I'd better keep in mind. Okay. Oh, I can't examine this scroll. You did 2 more shrines, a labyrinth, and a lot of light roots. Also discovered 2 more Calgera in the basement. Nice. In someone's basement, huh? In someone's basement or the world's basement? Yeah, it's the world's basement. And did you beat him, though? Look, this statue only has 1 tail. Maybe it's the 9-tailed fox's sidekick. I bet the number of tails represents a yokai's power. So, if you had 2 Apollo, I'd only have 1? Wait, what? Not that it means you're better than me, got it? Like I said, what? Here's the dead body. Seems cool. You killed Koga. You killed Koga until the 3rd game, at least. Nah, I'm joking. You beat 1 of them. You were so confused by the second that you came down for dinner. What was confusing about the second one? Just do what you did last time on the last 2. Wow, this is a pricey looking chair. Apparently the mayor was found drugged and unconscious in it. Really? Yeah, and when he came to, he was arrested for murder. Talk about your rude awakenings. So he's the prime suspect in a crime he knows nothing about? That stinks. Oh, poor Mr. Tenma. Sniffle. He must be feeling so scared and confused. What the hell did you come from, and why did they feel to put you down here? As a challenge. Just as a challenge. Or just to refight the bosses. Because in the last game, we couldn't really do that. Until the DLC happened. Apollo, it's up to us to save him. It's like she's on her own emotional roller coaster. Plus we get rewards, too. These weird tracks must have been made when someone stepped in the alderman's blood. Maybe the killer inadvertently made them when they were fleeing. They're pretty big tracks, almost bird-like. The feathers also point to a bird. Then it must be one big bird, and not of the friendly yellow type either. Reference to Big Bird! Maybe it's some kind of mutant bird creature. So your theory is a giant mutant bird murdered Alderman QB with a spear. It's more plausible than saying a monster or yokai did it. Sorry to burst your bubble, but a giant spear-wielding bird is by definition a monster. Wah wah. 4,400 more crystals before your 100% battery capacity, so that works to me. Oh, are you 100%ing the batteries? I didn't even do that on my first playthrough. I did on my other one, though. This is where Alderman QB's body was found. Apparently, the murder weapon, a spear, had Mayor Tenma's prints on it. That's not good. Never fear, Detective Fulbright is here. Yikes! Of course, I can't offer you any information on my investigation, so, in the name of justice, I must say goodbye. Hey, DeWilliams. How are you today? It's good to see ya. Easy enough to do, so you figured why not? Go for it. Go for it, I says. What was that all about? So did he leave, or? Uh-oh. What's uh-oh, that guy? That strange detective person? There's something wedged under this chair. Let's see if we can't lift it up and... Freeze! Yikes! No disturbing crime scene evidence, even if you are the mayor's lawyers. He does have a point there. Hey, Detective Fulbright, did you hear about the attack over on Yokai Lane? Heard an elderly woman was assaulted by a strange yokai shaped like a roll of cloth. And you waited until now to tell me? I better get over there with it at once. In justice we trust. That was surprisingly easy. Okay, Apollo, now's our chance to look around some more. The more I get to know her, the scarier she gets. Hope she never finds my weakness. Knock out the last 2 labyrinths you miss. When you say labyrinths, what do you mean by that? Do you mean, the mazes? Push your hearts out enough to round out, then you're gonna mainline Turing missions until you beat it. Might be another week. You could technically beat it right now. You could technically go to Ganon right now and beat it. But yeah, do as much as you wanna. Whatever this is, it's stuck on tight. Looks like a large blood-stained cloth. The blood's probably the Alderman's, but it's pretty far from his body. Wonder how it got here, and why does this seem important? It's not. Nothing's important here. The maze's labyrinth is just a really big freaking maze. Yep. Good old labyrinths. With a big challenge at the bottom. Little fun fact, Captain Chips. I did the labyrinths as well in the no paraglider run that I did on my second playthrough. I did them somehow. This one's a spear, but what about this one? It looks like a giant pair of pliers. Looks like something a demon might use. Saw something like that in a manga once. Really? What are they used for? Oh, things like pinching through cheeks. Ew! Pulling out tongues. Stop, stop! Oh, and you should see what they can do to a person's eyes. Okay, I get the idea. But I'm sure this thing is just a simple can opener or something like that. Demons eat canned food? I always wonder why they ate besides people. Nothing much to see on this side. Maybe I should go check the other side. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. It's a folding screen. I wonder what they were using it for. I read that in the Japanese used to use these in drafty rooms, but now they're just for show. You mean like my attorney's badge? Sniffle. Poor Theta. That cop treated her like a child. Treating her like a child must have bothered her. Wait a minute. Huh? There's something behind the door. Oh. The only thing about the labyrinths you find annoying is that you never manage to get to the ones in the air without spending like 100 zonite. I forgot how I did it. Well, you can actually look on my YouTube channel and see what I did. I guarantee it was something crazy. Probably broke when the door was open. Why would anybody put something there? Yeah, that wasn't very smart. Maybe it was Jinxie. She's the first one to discover the body. She must have heard the screams and come running in here in a panic. Well, look at you, Apollo. Now you're using analytical psychology too. I am? Wow, you really learned quick. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You're the ace attorney of Wright Anything Agency. I can't tell whether she's serious or not. Now, if Trucy said something like that, I'd immediately know she was messing with me. Oh, that Trucy. Clock. You're back? Hey, welcome back, Mafia babe. Your Wi-Fi's bugging like crazy. That's annoying. Apollo, what words come to mind when you watch that pendulum in there? Unsteady and, restless. That's a direct representation of your current, state of mind. Wait, that was some kind of psychological test? A diagnosis? The strange case has made you anxious, causing you to lose your cool. You're actually not that far off the mark. And over here we have... oh, a vent. Maybe there was a step ladder here, or a ladder. Huh? That looks like an air vent. It's pretty high up there. Machi, are you up there? What if you got a running start and jumped? I doubt even a high jumper can make it. Don't rule it out before you try it. Besides, I'm an excellent jumper. Even so, that must be about 9 feet high. Like I said, you don't know until you try, Monsieur Justice. She doesn't know when to give up and when to stop using foreign words. That's Doesn't this Tanuki statue remind you of the manor's caretaker Phineas Filch? This raccoon-looking thing? Yeah, it does look like him. Wait, that guy's name was Argus Filch, not Phineas Filch. I don't really know too many Filches, do I? Oh, I just got the best idea. We should knock it over. It might transform back into Mr. Filch. Mr. Filch is mischievous, but he's not magical, you know. Way to waste a brilliant idea, Apollo. Look, trophies. Ooh, this one was awarded to Alderman QB, the amazing Ninetales Yokai Div winner, Tenma Town Pro Wrestling Tournament. Yokai Division? I didn't know you could have a division of one. Apollo, you should enter the tournament next time, and I have a perfect name for you, the Mysterious Firebrand. A mild-mannered masked lawyer by day, a demonic masked wrestler by night. No one's going to hire a masked lawyer, Athena. You never know. What do we have here? Looks like a statue of the nine-tailed fox and ten Mataros battling it out. Eek! Careful, Apollo! It's got blood on it. You love her. Yep, Athena the new lawyer. She's cool. I like Athena too. Really? Hey, you're right. Wonder if it's the Elderman's blood. How can you remain so calm after seeing all this blood? Well, this isn't the first time I've seen something like this, so... no fun at all. At least act surprised or grossed out or something for my first case. Already a lawyer. You want me to be an actor too? Well, we got our demon statue. Here's some stuff here. Look, a cat with two tails. No such thing. Oh, and this lady has a really long neck. How funny is that? There's no way a creature like that could ever exist. She'd have a tough time swallowing. Hey, that's a yokai. From Yokai Watch. Apollo, I bet you were one of those kids who didn't believe in Santa Claus. What's that got to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Hey, this window's open. And outside, we have ourselves a steep cliff. The window only opens about 6 inches, not wide enough for anyone to get in or out. Look, Apollo, there's something caught in the window frame. It looks like gold fur. What a pretty color. It must be from some kind of animal. Wonder what it's doing here. Did Alderman QB have a pet fox? That's it. He had a pet fox. Guess that's about wraps it up. Now if only we could get that detective to tell us what he knows. Hey Apollo, do you hear something? I don't hear anything. Oh right, your hearing must not be as sensitive as mine. What are you talking about? A whooshing sound, like wind rushing through a narrow strait, and the echo of someone's voice. In justice we trust. Ah! Ha ha ha! Someone's got a sharp set of ears. That was the sound of my righteous voice reverberating through the air duct. I heard it through the air ducts? Yeah, check it out. But why would she hear you through there? Why don't we go to the diagram? As you can see, this vent is connected to an air duct that leads out into the hallway. The wind must have rushed through there, and carried my monologue with it straight to your ears. And what a unique monologue it was. I was just thinking, maybe the killer made their escape through the air duct or something. A cute theory, but I don't think so. The air duct in the hallway is low enough to climb into, that much is true. But as you can see, the vent in the ceiling is very high. 9 feet high, in fact. Highly doubt that there's any way to get up there without a ladder or something. I don't see anything of the sort in this room, do you? I guess you're right. Speaking of things in this room. Yeah? Can you tell us what you guys turned up, Detective Fulbright? Not on my watch, buddy. In the name of justice, I cannot reveal facts pertaining to the prosecution's case. Oh, come on. There was a bone here. Excuse me, Detective Fulbright, but I recall you saying earlier that you would come running whenever we were in need. Yerk, I suppose I did say that. Helping those in need is what justice is all about, but But keeping information out of the enemy hands is also a form of justice. Arg. Which justice is the most just? Why is this always so hard? Well, how about this? Let's do a little give and take. I mean, serving the public is part of justice too, right? You know, like the police motto, to serve and protect. I doubt leaking information to the defense team falls under that motto. Yes, of course, I must serve as well as protect. Okay, I will share some information. In the name of justice. We did it, Apollo. Yeah, we did it alright, but I'm not sure that was entirely ethical. You can tell what this guy's shtick is, right? He loves the justice. Was it Miss Jinxie Tenma who first discovered the crime scene? That's right, and this photo shows what she saw when she opened the door. Huh. Miss Tenma had a key, allowing her immediate access. A key? So then a fox chamber was locked? The fox chamber? Yes, and Miss Tenma had the only key to its door. Really? So Alderman QB didn't have a key to the fox's chamber? Actually, he had a master's key for most of the doors in the manor, but it disappeared after his murder. Hey, Angel Love! What's up? How you doing today? How's life treating ya? You're just in time. We're talking to the new detective of this game. Disappeared? You think the killer took it? I could very well be connected to the murder. We're looking into the possibility now. You're doing good today? Do anything fun or exciting or cool? But it's the timing of Miss Tenma's discovery that I think is most important. Of course, I'm not going to share that information with you. Ha ha ha. Hiyori's here too. What's up? How you doing today, Hiyori? Angel of Head School. I'm glad you survived another day at school. You did it. You think you're some kind of champion of justice, but you're just plain old mean. I won't fall for that, you shameless rascal. Only help good little boys and girls. Shameless rascal? Who even says that? Well, I wouldn't exactly call you a good little girl either. You took a nap? Check Mia. Sadly, no Mia in this game. Sorry, fellas and fellowettes. You took a nap after school. Hope it was a good one. Sometimes you need a good little cat nap, right? Those feathers and tracks look like something a yokai might leave behind. You don't actually think the murderer was some sort of monster, do you? What's the name of that creature in the Forbidden Chamber? Tenma something? Because from the black feathers and big tracks, it looks like that creature did it. Our prime suspect would no doubt love to pin the blame on some imaginary creature. Can Tenma whatchamacallit even be made a victim of slander? I doubt the mayor would do something as childish as blaming a boogeyman. So the most likely scenario so far is that Tenma guy left the feathers and tracks behind to make it look like the yokai Tenma was the killer. Wait, what? Now I'm as confused as you. At any rate, I doubt Mayor Tenma would plant evidence like that. Mia's finally been arrested in a way that actually stuck. Mia's been arrested? Mia's been arrested in the afterlife. Or rather, she's retired. Mayor Tenma's your only suspect? That's right. Even his name, Damien Tenma, makes him sound like a villain. And he's really scary looking too. Wait, are you telling me that's why he was arrested? Ha ha ha, don't be ridiculous. He was the only one without an alibi. Oh, is that so? Yep, other than the victim, the suspect, and Miss Tenma, the only others around were... Oh, Maya. Whatever. Pearl's there with her. Yep, Maya's on house arrest with Pearl, or something. Will we ever know what happens to Maya? We'll have to see. Mr. Filch and Mayor Tenma's aide, and the two of them were together at the time. Filch, the guy who tried to steal my bracelet. He's living up to his name, I guess. We should go talk to him again when we have a chance. What about Jinxie? She's not being suspected at all? She may have no alibi whatsoever, but she also has no motive. It's unfathomable that she would murder the alderman and pin the crime on her father. Besides, do you really think that a little girl could lift up this huge spear? I don't know. There was a little girl that was a crazy killer in the third game. True enough, that spear looks even bigger than her. That's about all I can reveal at this time. Well, you must admit, Damien Tenma appears to be the most likely suspect. I admit it looks bad, but I'm still not buying it. Oh, and one more thing. I must warn you about the prosecutor. The prosecutor assigned to Mayor Tenma's trial? That's the one. He's, how shall I put it, not what you'd expect. That is unless you faced a convicted killer serving hard time as a prosecutor before. What the? Is this some kind of joke? What? Can I ask why a man in prison for murder is serving as prosecutor? Because he's mastered the use of psychological and courtroom battles. Everyone's talking about how this murder was the work of some strange creature, but yokai are nothing more than a figment of the imagination. They're baloney. Who better to prove than the master of psychology? He's the best man for the job. But he's a convicted murderer. No matter how you look at it, that's just insane. Well, the chief prosecutor personally assigned him, so none of us are in a position to question the matter. Ha ha ha. This really is the dark age of the law. This prosecutor, he wouldn't happen to go by the name Blackquill, would he? Bingo! Simon Blackquill. So you have heard of him? You could say that. What's that supposed to mean? Well, I bet you don't know his unofficial title. Ever heard of the Twisted Samurai? That's Prosecutor Blackquill. The Twisted Samurai? Is this because he's a criminal? Well, yes and no. You could say it also has to do with the effect his crime had on things. How so? His conviction is what twisted and warped the legal world into this dark age of the law. What? And he, of all people, is going to stand in court tomorrow? Never fear, I myself will be there to protect you. That's reassuring, I guess. Well, you kids knock yourselves out. Can't wait to see how you do tomorrow. Wait, Detective Fulbright, I've been meaning to ask you something. Why are you barefoot? This doesn't look like the sort of place where you need to take your shoes off. I hadn't even noticed. Why am I barefoot? You honestly hadn't noticed until just now? Wait a second. Those shoes we found earlier. Excuse me, Detective Fulbright. These wouldn't happen to be your shoes, would they? Yes, they are. My favorite pair, in fact. Thank you for bringing them to me. You must truly be on the side of justice. Don't tell me Mr. Filch actually stole from a detective. Stealing shoes right off of someone's feet? That's pretty amazing. I find it more amazing that Detective Fulbright didn't notice. Well, it looks like we've gotten all we can out of the detective, so let's see. Oh, by the way, guys, will this be allowed in actual courts? A convicted murderer as a prosecutor? Is that allowed? At all? Maybe we should go have a word with Mr. Filch. I want to hear what his alibi is. Captain Chip says no. Well, welcome to the dark age of the law, guys. You know, part of the dark age of the law was because of Clavier, Christoph Gavin. That's part of the dark age of the law. Now this is the next part of the dark age. This is just awful. Terrible, I say. So somebody, help! Oh look, it's Mr. What was it again? Finch? No, the name's Filch. Phineas Filch. Keep on pilfering and you may wind up a jailbird instead. So what seems to be the problem, Mr. Filch? Oh, it's just terrible. Terrible, I tell ya. Come quick. Okay. What's the deal with him, all of a sudden? Oh. Looks like some kind of mask. I don't know, there are many of lawyers who've been in prison who kept their right to practice law. Interesting. Do you mean in this game, or in, like, the real world? Then again, Godot was kind of a murderer, too. But he was kind of a recent one, though. It's the amazing Ninetales' mask! IRL? Oh, gotcha. Who knows? The amazing Ninetales? Oh, right, the wrestler who appeared during the festival's special event. What's his mask doing here? He'd never take off his mask like this. Someone must have killed him. What? Who would do such a thing? Let's go talk over there in private. Look, there's some white hair caught up inside this mask. White hair inside. Yeah, the beard. Unless it's different hair. So what makes you believe that Amazing Ninetales has been murdered? You really want to know? You're a studious one, ain't you? Yes, I mean, no, just tell me, please. Well, it's like this. I dreamed of becoming a wrestler myself. Hey, how about you join me in the quest for the champion's belt? What a team. Me in my bandit's mask, and you in that demon mask of yours. Demon mask? Wonder if I could make it big. Apollo, let's save your pro wrestling debut until after the trial. Huh? Oh, no, I wasn't actually... Arg, why did I let him pull me off topic like that? Come on, Apollo. Ask him about the Amazing Ninetales' murder already. The Amazing Ninetales is our village's savior, and don't you forget it. His trademark's a gold cape made to look like a nine-tailed fox. Tails. He whirls through the ring, smacking down Tenma Town wrestlers left and right. He sparked the monster craze, revitalizing Ninetales Vale in the blink of an eye. Yep, saved our village from becoming a ghost town. Now it's a yokai town. Huh? The Amazing Ninetales really does sound, well, amazing. Guys, new game idea. Yokai punch, or not yokai, Okami Punch-Out. Eh? Yeah, maybe not actually. Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? That's why he's worshipped like a hero around here. I'm proud to be from the same village as him. Come to think of it, you look kind of a monster like yourself, Mr. Filch. Guess it makes sense since you're from the same village as the Amazing Ninetales. I know. A lot of people have told me I look like a yokai. Since when was that a compliment? Ouch! What's the big idea? Check your pocket. Hey, how'd you do that? Keep it. I got lots more. Okami Punch-Out. Sadly, I actually don't like the Punch-Out games all that much. But it would be cool seeing Okami brought back in some way. So you keep saying that the Amazing Ninetales was killed. What's the story behind that? I would want Okami warriors personally, but that's not gonna happen either. Are you saying he was murdered because his mast washed up the river alongside the river outside? That's one part of it. The main reason is no one's seen him since the special event. The word around Ninetales Vale is he was killed by Tenmataro. Villagers are really superstitious, aren't you? That we are. We love conspiracy theories, too, like the mayor's diabolical plot. The mayor of Tenma Town? What is he plotting? Rumor has it he's planning on releasing Tenmataro. That's why he wants the merger. He'll open up the Forbidden Chamber once he's in control. That's quite a tale. Ain't finished yet. There was only one person who could stop the mayor. Our hero, the Amazing Ninetales. He vowed to battle the mayor of Tenma Town and stop the municipal merger. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. Apollo, we still have to ask him about the alderman's murder, remember? Mr. Filch, would you mind telling us what you were doing at the time of the murder? I was in the caretaker's office guarding the entrance like Mr. QB said I should, and I made double sure no one came in. I have a clear view of the foyer from where I work. You must be talking about the small room in the upper right. Definitely looks like you could keep track of the comings and goings from there. And you have an alibi to back your statement up, Mr. Filch? I do indeed. I was with Mayor Tenma's aide. Florent Lebel is his name. So, the two of you were together. That's a pretty sound alibi, alright. And nobody came in or out of the manor around the time of the murder. Kept watch here the whole time, didn't see a soul pass by. And if anyone did, that their security camera would have spotted him. So no one came in or around the time of the murder. That means we're dealing with someone who was already inside when it happened. So do you think this mask is the real deal? Without a doubt, this here is the mask worn by the Amazing Ninetales. Love how the lawyer's like, what the F? I know, right? This guy is oozing what the F. What about that white hair I found inside the mask? Wait, I just thought of something. Remember the golden animal fur we found at the crime scene? Could it have come from this mask? Look, there's even a spot where some fur is missing. And this places this mask at the crime scene at some point in time. Which means... What does this mean? Someone with white hair who is linked with the murder and is against the merger. No way. Could the amazing Ninetales and the Alderman actually be... Something wrong, Apollo? You should see the look on your face. Oh no, it's nothing. Maybe Jinxie could tell us something, since she works here. Are they the same person? I guess that's it. So let's get the flip out of here. Now let's get the out of here and go to Yokai Lane. Oh look, there's Jinxie. Milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and... Sounds like she's out grocery shopping. She must really like dairy products. A charm to make a better milkshake and another to cure my lactose intolerance. Maybe she should just stick to soy milk. Jinxie, hey, it's me. Eek! It's the demon lawyer. Ack. Not another warning charm. Or warding charm. Apollo, who is she? Oh, right. This is your first time meeting each other. This is Jinxie, Mayor Tenma's daughter. She was the first to discover the crime scene. Oh, so she's the one who... hello. My name's Athena Sykes. I'll be helping Apollo defend your father at his trial. Pleased to meet you. But pleased to meet you too. Where's Juicy? She went back to the office ahead of us. But don't worry, Athena and I are on the case. Well, wait, how do you know you didn't... That you didn't gobble her up alive? Relax, I didn't eat her up. And I wouldn't do such a thing in the first place. Oh, poor little Juicy. Sniffle. I'm about ready for some tears of frustration myself. She's quite an, interesting character. Apollo? Yep. She's very, superstitious, this girl. Jinxie, do you remember any more of what happened? Not much. At least, not yet. But you do think Tenmataro was the killer, right? That yokai we saw at the festival? I don't know anything about that. Huh? But you said Tenmataro murdered the alderman. It's okay, Jinxie. You can tell me. Yikes! What was that for? People see things when they don't get enough sleep. There's no such thing as monsters. Huh? What's gotten into her? So if there are no monsters, you admit I'm human? No, you're still a demon. Oh, I give up. It seems like Jinxie doesn't want to talk about Tenmataro for some reason. But that's precisely what we need to know more about. Besides, she definitely thought there was a yokai there in the fox chamber. Jinxie, about this charm. Ah! That's... You gave me this when I was heading off to the scene of the crime. You thought Tenmataro was the murderer. That's why you gave this to me, right? That's true, but... If there's anything else you could tell us, it would really help. And it will help your father, too. Alright then. You knew Phoenix Wright was a demon? A demon with spiky hair. He must be. Only problem is that we're actually playing as Apollo Justice right now. So it's Apollo Justice that's the demon. Hehehe. Why do you think Tenmataro's the killer? I saw him with my own eyes. Tenmataro was right there in the manor. He escaped his prison and ran right by me. What? Jinxie, tell us everything you saw. I called the police after I stumbled on the scene. I was just about to head back to the festival grounds when... I saw Tenmataro. I knew it was right around here. It was running right at me. I was paralyzed with fear, but there was no one around to help me. Shiver. The foul beast raced right by me toward the foyer. Toward the foyer? Mr. Filch and Mr. LaBelle were supposedly in the foyer at the time. That means they would have seen Tenmataro too. Sounds like we'd better get their statements. Considering Jinxie's mental state, her eyes could have been playing tricks on her. Apollo? Remember the picture in the paper? Someone caught the Tenmataro flying through the air. I wonder if it's the same Tenmataro Jinxie says she saw. Don't be ridiculous. Shiver. Tenmataro is the killer, and he can fly too. Jinxie works at the Alderman's Manor, so maybe she can shed some light on this. So, no one knows the amazing Ninetales' true identity? Uh-huh, they say no one's ever seen him without his mask. Doesn't that make you want to know even more? Uh-huh. That's why matches where wrestlers try to expose their opponents are so popular. Wait, you mean expose, as in strip them naked? Eek! Even think like a demon. The only thing the winner removes is the loser's mask. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. So you see, these unmasking matches are life and death battles for the wrestlers. That means this mask didn't just happen to wash up along the riverbank. There's got to be a story behind it. No one can stop the amazing Ninetales, but she'd be shocked to find out he's really the Elderman. About the yokai you saw at the scene of the crime, anything else stand out? Actually, I heard this strange jangly sound. A jangly sound? Can you be a little more specific? My memory's kind of fuzzy, but I vaguely recall seeing Tenmataro holding a staff or something like that. Maybe that's what was making the strange sound. Does Tenmataro usually carry a staff? Good question. I've never heard anything like that, and it's not shown on the scroll. How about in the other documents? Any of them show Tenmataro with a staff? This is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. After all, those who needlessly depict the demon are forever cursed. Well, then what's the deal with the Tenmataro you saw, Jinxie? Wow. Eyewitness account. Why didn't you tell me you saw Tenmataro earlier? Actually, Mr. LaBelle told me not to tell. Mr. LaBelle? Papa's aide. Oh, right. The other guy who was supposedly in the foyer at the time of the crime. And what exactly did he tell you? Keep the village superstitions in mind before you go talking about seeing Tenmataro at the time of the crime. Village superstitions? They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. That's something everyone here knows? Sounds like a bunch of baloney to me. Uh-huh. Everyone from babies to the village elders know about it. But I didn't because I'm not from around here. Hey, come to think of it. Huh? Why is everyone hiding their faces? Hey, you there. You mustn't stare at Tenmataro like that. Lower your eyes. You'll steal your soul if you're not careful. Huh? Steal my soul? Seriously? The guy at the special event thing said almost the exact same thing. Apollo, do you think this LaBelle guy actually believes in Tenmataro? I seriously doubt it. He's not even from Ninetales Vale. Then why would he try to keep Jinxie from talking? Good question. I think we'd better go have a word with him. Time to unmask this monster of a mystery. The last time I saw Mr. LaBelle, he was relaxing in the foyer. Bueno, next stop the Manor Foyer. With any luck, he'll be there waiting for us. Okay. Let's speak to Mr. LaBelle. There's no one here. Guess our luck isn't so good when it comes to Mr. LaBelle. Maybe he's out for a walk or something. Somebody left something on the sill of the caretaker's office window. Oh, it's a TV program guide. Looks like someone circled a pro wrestling match. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Eek! It's, Oh, Mr. Filch, what can we do for you? I bet she was going to scream monster, when truly isn't much of a stretch. Ain't nothing I need you to do for me, but what business do you got with my TV listings? Oh no, it just caught my eye. Can I ask if you watched this pro wrestling program today? Yep, 'twas a match between a couple of rank amateurs, though. It was a complete disaster. I reckon even I could have done better than that. I seriously doubt that. I almost forgot. There's something I wanted to ask him. Mr. Filch, do you see anything unusual around the time of the murder? For example, Tenmataro or something like that? Tenmataro? So you did see him. My, how clean and shiny your forehead is again today, Mr. Lawyer, sir. But you shine it up every day, real purty like. The ladies must love it. Don't change the subject, and FYI, that was a seriously bad attempt at flattery. Jinxie said she saw Tenmataro flee toward the foyer, so you must have seen him too if you were here. Yipes. Wow, I really pushed a button there. Well, did you see anything or not? Hold it. Oh, hi. That is quite enough. I must ask that you not pester my friend any more. Yipes. Forgive me for being pestered, sir. And you are? I am Florence LaBelle. Bayou Divine and personal aid to Mayor Damien Tenma. Bayou Divine? More like yokai grotesque. This place is crawling with monsters. Oh, excuse you. Ack. But what the heck was that for? It was just a little cologne. You had the look of a stinky sweat about you. It's from my own original brand of cosmetics called Jesus Lebel. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Oh, what a heavenly scent. Ugh, I think you just paralyzed my olfactory receptors. Oh, hey, it's the killer. This guy's so weird. I'll pose this question to you guys now. Who is the killer of this case? Sadly, this case has the obvious killer is the obvious-looking killer, guys. The killer cliche. You paralyze my things. I suppose such a scent would be difficult for a peasant to appreciate. I'll have you know that is brand number 5. Bonjour. It's my way of introducing myself. Enjoy. Where's my bottle of adieu so I can return to the favor? Enough about the cologne. Please tell us what you saw around the time of the murder. Yeah, this guy was shown at the beginning of the episode, killing the guy. So, yeah. Keeping Jinxie quiet. I heard you're the one who told Jinxie not to mention that she saw Tenmataro? Why, that little... So she told you she saw the demon, did she? Mr. LaBelle, so do you mind if I ask whether you believe in the village superstitions? Oh, please, I was merely trying to keep with traditions. Nevertheless, I will say this. I wouldn't stick my nose into this whole Tenmataro business if I were you. Bad thing happens to those who do. That much is true. He is one scary monster. That's crazy. Really expect me to believe that monsters are real? Well, you're real, and you sure look like a monster. Look who's talking. So, Mr. LaBelle, you didn't see Tenmataro? Ah! Little Jinxie has an active imagination. Isn't that right, Phineas? That's right. Didn't see nothing, especially not Tenmataro. As for me, I only see things of beauty. That's why I can barely see you. I've got 2 words for this guy. Total freak. What's your alibi? Could I ask what you were doing at this time of the crime? I was murdering the alderman. I mean, in other words, you like to hear my alibi. Tisk, to think you suspect me of all people. Oh, no, it's just a formality. We asked everyone to— Ah! How dare you doubt me? This is an affront to beauty itself. You obviously can't see straight. Like that sprints really helped. What were we doing, you ask? Go ahead, Filchy, answer the question. At the time of the crime, we were, in this here foyer. Exactly. Good answer, Filchy. Good answer. Just repeating what you told. Yeah, you've said quite enough. What is with these two? Great, now he's got me talking like that. Are we quite through here? I'm a very busy man, you know. Right. Well, thanks for your help. So these two were in the foyer, but didn't see Tenmataro. Come along, Filchy. Where are we going? Oh, right. Gotta practice them statements for tomorrow. Yipes! My eyes! You're going to dig your own grave with that big mouth of yours someday. What does he mean, practice statements? Now, if you would excuse me, it's time to touch up my makeup. Apollo, I know this sounds strange, but Mr. LaBelle seems unusually preoccupied with Tenmataro. Really? How can you tell? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You see, I can read people's emotions from the tone of their voice. You mean you have good ears? Something like that. People's emotions are expressed in the tone of their voice, and my ears can pick up on even the subtlest of tones for some reason. That's an interesting skill. But what do you mean he's preoccupied with Tenmataro? I'm not exactly sure, but it was like he was obsessed with the thought of Tenmataro. That's what I picked up from his voice anyway. Everywhere we turn, it's Tenmataro this, Tenmataro that. We should go talk to the mayor too. Sounds like a plan. We need to get to the bottom of that rumor about him wanting to release Tenmataro. April 17, Detention Center. Visitors room. Something wrong, Apollo? Where did your enthusiasm go? What am I doing asking if the mayor, if he has ever thought about releasing Tenemataro? At best, he'll think I'm an idiot. At worst, shudder. Oh, he's here. It's so nice to finally meet you. I'm Mr. Justice's partner, Athena Sykes. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Tenma. Taro. Oh, yes. I look forward to working with you, too. Eek! Glad he didn't mind Athena calling him by a completely wrong name. Apollo, he's just as kind and gentle looking as I imagined. Lucky for you after that blunder you just made. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. There are rumors going around about how you want to or did set Tenemataro free. What utter nonsense! Yikes! They always assume the worst of me because of the way I look. But those rumors don't have a shred of truth, I tell you. A little touchy about his appearances. Isn't he? What he really needs to work on are his people skills. So rumor has it that you want to push the merger though, in order to release Tenemataro. Of course, that'd be a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Grrr. Ack. Sorry if I offended you. So that's the talk around town, is it? I can see I can see how that would make you angry. What if Jinxie's schoolmates start teasing her about this? Huh? I must break out of here at once. Her tormentors must be taught a lesson. No, wait. First we have to get you a not guilty verdict. Don't try to stop me. This is about a father's duty to his darling daughter. Hold tight, sweet Jinxie. Daddy's coming to save you. Relax. We'll look out for your daughter until we can get you free. Is that so? You don't need me to go straighten things out myself. Woo boy. They'd probably call in the SWAT team if he showed up at her school. Oh, right. I had to ask about the reason behind the merger. Oh, whoops. Oopsie! My bad. It seems like you were rather forceful in pushing for the municipal merger. Did you really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize in terms of tourism. Oh! Wait, am I feeling what I think I'm feeling? Sure, I played a bit of hardball, but only when I deemed it necessary. I knew it. My bracelet's reacting. What is it, Apollo? Mayor Tenma may not be telling the whole truth. Really? How can you tell? People invariably tense up when they lie. That's where my bracelet here comes in. I can sense when the person I'm talking to is feeling tense, because it begins to feel tighten on my arm. No way! You can do that? Wait, so you believe me? Just like that? Sure, each of us has our own special gifts. Oh yeah, Athena has a gift too, her special sense of hearing. Still, what do you think the mayor is lying about? I don't know, but it's our job to find out. It's been a while since my bracelet last reacted like this. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. First I touch my bracelet. Right, now let's give it a whirl. Well, looks like we're doing this here, and not in court. Yes, I remember this feeling of intense concentration. The ability to see the smallest twitch, the slightest frown that no one else can see. Now Mayor Tenma was lying somewhere in that statement he just made, and when he lied, a certain habit made itself clear just under his right eye. I have to just shift my viewpoint up and focus on that area. Okay. This eye? Oh, this eye. Alright, I've got him now. His nervous tell should appear when he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I gotta pore over every word he says and wait for it to appear. And when it does, I'll perceive X it. Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize. In terms of tourism. Mr. Mayor, please, you can trust us with the truth. The truth? I don't understand. When you mention tourism, The bottom of your right eye started twitching. What nonsense is this? So what if it did? Please tell us more about your merger bid. What more is there to tell? Why were you really seeking to merge with Ninetales Vale? I already told you. Tourism. The monster craze really revitalized the village, making it quite the prize. You really don't trust us, do you? What are you talking about? The village has been hot property ever since the monster craze started, has it not? I think you've yet to realize that what you're saying contradicts the facts. You say that the monster craze really revitalized Ninetales Vale, so you felt it would be an attractive prize for its tourism. That would contradict this. I will confess, I don't remember. Like, at all. Yeah, I have no idea, guys. I don't remember. The paper? This evidence proves you're not being entirely truthful with us. Ack! Sorry, I take it all back. Oh, forgive me. There was a fly that was driving me nuts. If that's how he deals with flies, I hate to see him when he's really angry. So you think I'm not being entirely truthful? Yes, sir. This guy is seriously scary. I think you've yet to realize that this one you're saying contradicts the facts. You say Ninetales Vale is booming thanks to the monster craze, so... this? Nope. Yeah, that's the problem of only playing this game once, guys. I remember jack shiz. Statement... this, maybe? The monster craze in Ninetales Vale is a very recent phenomenon. It was sparked when the amazing Ninetales rose up against the municipal merger. The village was practically a ghost town before then. Arg! So you see, you couldn't have possibly seen it as an attractive prize for its tourism. What's the real reason behind your push to merge Tenma Town with Ninetales Vale, huh? Arg. Are you ready to tell me the truth now? Honestly, I never wanted to pursue the merger in the first place, but I had no choice if I wanted to protect my darling little Jinxie. Protect her from what? I received a threat. It said either I go through with the merger or my Jinxie dies. What? How awful! Who would do such a thing? I don't know, but whoever blackmailed me must be connected to the murder. Wait, so you think the blackmailer and the killer could be one and the same? Alderman QB was immensely popular, so you have to ask what would want him dead. Who would want him dead? The blackmailer who wanted the merger at all costs. I had all the motive in the world. But why go from blackmail to murder? The merger protest won't disappear just because the alderman was killed. Ah, could it be? What if there was another reason for the murder? Like what? Maybe the blackmailer discovered Alderman QB's secret identity, and his secret identity was a threat to the blackmailer's merger scheme. What do secret identities have to do with anything, Apollo? Have evidence revealing the alderman's secret identity. Maybe it's time to use it. Alright, time to use it. The mask, maybe. Mayor Tenma, please take a look at this if you would. That's the amazing Ninetales' mask. What is the meaning of this? This mask was almost definitely at the crime scene, and there was some white hair inside. White hair, you say? There was but one person with white hair in the manor that day. What are you saying? You know which man I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about Rex QB, the amazing Ninetales himself. No way! The alderman was impossible. Wait, come to think of it, Alderman QB was a former pro wrestler. So the blackmailer turned killer when he discovered the alderman's secret identity? Didn't I just say that? But yeah, the amazing Ninetales was a threat to the blackmailer's scheme. He opposed the merger and as a result, single-handedly sparked the monster craze. Even so, what was the mask doing at the crime scene? There had been an event at the manor, and maybe Alderman QB had taken part in it, if you get my drift. This is absurd! Mr. Mayor, do you have proof of the threat that was made against you? Yes, a blackmail letter. Unfortunately, it disappeared after the murder. I'd be carrying it around in my briefcase, but now it's suddenly vanished. The blackmailer must have taken it with them after they killed the alderman. Well, at least we've clearly established the killer's motive. Mayor Tenma, visiting hours are over. It would appear that this meeting is adjourned. Apollo, do you really think that the Tenmataro that Jinxie saw is the killer? I don't know. All I know is there is no such thing as monsters. What about that newspaper article? Could the killer have purposely freed Tenmataro to do their dirty work? Oh, come on! There wasn't any Tenmataro to release in the first place! Yes, but the only suspects the police have right now are the mayor and a yokai. We'll probably be arguing whether there was a yokai involved in court tomorrow. I can already see the look of disbelief on the judge's face. Apollo, are you alright? I'm fine. I'll think of something. I admit it because I can't very well say a flying demon was the killer. At this point, the only thing I know for sure is tomorrow is going to be one doozy of a trial. Falling asleep? Aw, good night, Angel Love. Real quick, wanna hear what, I watched last night? Since we're in between things, last night was a very special movie. Last night's Disney movie. It was very special because it taught me all about Ohana. And Ohana means family, and family means little blue aliens. Yeah, if that's not a perfect clue, if that doesn't clue you in on the movie, I don't know what will. It was a movie called Lilo and Stitch, and yeah, it's good. You love Lilo and Stitch? Little fun fact, I've had the actual DVD of that movie, like, since the very beginning. Like, when DVDs, like, first came out. It's good. There was a second one, I believe. I never saw that one. There was another one which led to the series, which I should watch sometime, and then one that ended the series. So a lot of Lilo and Stitch stuff that appeared. And little fun fact, there's an anime of Stitch as well. Not Lilo, just Stitch. Pretty much all of Lilo and Stitch is good. There was one with a girl. Yeah, there was the anime with the girl that involved a yokai, actually, fun fact. But yeah, it was good. Pretty much all of Lilo and Stitch is good. There is a live-action version coming out, so that might ruin things. That might ruin Lilo and Stitch's perfect record. But yeah, good show, good series, and I like the trailers especially of Stitch appearing in other Disney movies. I love that so much. But yep, that was last night's movie. It was good. Anyway, we have a court case to do. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all. Yeah, real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Eek! Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? Just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting "I'm fine" in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Cords of Steel voice workout, and a must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here, I'll go first and then you try. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Alright. I'm Athena Sykes. And I'm fine. I think that actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Apollo, citation needed. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse. The point is to relieve stress, not to get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Ah, Mr. Wright. Just a little voice workout. I know, gotta love the Cords of Steel. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back that's all. That's all? That's huge news. But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. No fair, inquiring minds want to know. But wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right, I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he could make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Ack! I know he was gonna be bad news. It's probably just a hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes, better tone down my cords of steel too. So are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright, but I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client, seek the truth, that's all we can do. And check Google in case things get wrong. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. District Court, courtroom number 4. And here we go. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Apollo Justice Defense Team Leader is ready, Your Honor. I'd know that big booming voice anywhere, as chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who is the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, and fresh out of law school. Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. Huh, no one. I guess we win. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time. Yeah, this is normal.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate.
That wouldn't be allowed, but he's in handcuffs, though. It's fine.
But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Do you like the judge at times? I love the judge too. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Ahem. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course, forgive me. Why are all the people related to this case so scary? Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement... what is the matter? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It is all right here in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well... Looks like the cat, or in this case the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest badass in the room. Hey, Mr. Cool! Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the biggest, craziest prosecutor yet. How you doing today? I like your objection. Way to enter the stream. But, we need an opening statement and an overview of the case at hand. Well then, your baldness. If it's so very important, why don't you do the honors? Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And they then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool. Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old dotards such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren. Or is it great-grandchildren? All these years I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. How in trouble is Mr. Blackquill already, guys? Indictment, not indictment? Oh, blame the French. Blame the French. Just look at his hair. You had 3 tests and an essay. Oh, fun, Mr. Cool. Looks like you were Mr. Hot under the collar today, huh? Mr. Stressed. But I hope you got through them good. Immediately found in contempt of court. I don't think he cares, to be honest. He's already accused of murder. So, where could he go from here? Your stream is lagging out? Aw, sorry about that. But I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? He actually fell for that? That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about. Ahem, the opening statement. Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cuby, alderman of Ninetails Vale, and the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon, plus he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, had no motive. So in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Think it works now. Welcome back, Mr. Cool. I hope you can relax now after your massive tests. Bravo, your baldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Ho ho ho, flattery will get you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now, cause his name is Simon. Simon Says. Let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackquill here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackquill here. Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. Not again. Ah, sorry. Gotta love tech problems, right? And internet problems. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackquill doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackquill. He's so oblivious. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it, but first I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Alright, cross-examining the new detective. Alderman Cuby was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cuby was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Please work. Please work! Alderman Cuby had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right, the accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler, so he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. You've been using 160p, have you been lagging? Maybe bad connection today? The internet waves are bad or something? Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Cause of death: stabbed with a spear. Around 3:20 p.m. Victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. The spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman has been a pro wrestler. You really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink. I don't know. It still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this. And so your life is spared, for now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the only person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree, your baldness? Intimidating the defense. Oh, is it still not working? Sorry, Mr. Cool. I wish I knew how to help you. The defense is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Tenmataro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. The mirror's a strange one, all right. I heard went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal. Hate this Chromebook. Oh, that's your problem. You're using a Chromebook. Gotta find a real computer, Mr. Cool. Though they're expensive. Just do your best, my friend, with watching. Order. There will be no gossiping in my court. Your baldness. Please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenmataro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Eep! The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Woo! Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal, trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. How in trouble is someone if they address the judge as anything other than your honor, like your baldness? Pausing and unpausing does the trick. Hey, there you go. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. One on one side is the nine-tailed fox, on the other is Tenmataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case was rendered in art. Okay. Her forehead. Her forehead. Immediate contempt of court, huh? Well, like I said, you can't get in a worse position than Blackwell right now. So he is your baldness. For the time being, Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Cross-examination about the murderer. Alderman Hubie was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. I'm gonna save the game, cause wow, I did not save in a very long time. Fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. Alderman Hubie was asleep from a drug. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But then sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. I think it's this one.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him, but the statue he supposedly used to defend him creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. I don't remember. I will confess, when looking up the guide at this game, I noticed that the statue was the choice for this for this thing. QB fought unarmed, no fingerprints, it's not broken. Maybe this one? There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. If you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? You want to do some crime now so you can go to court? Maybe don't do crime. Maybe instead become a defense attorney, or a prosecutor, or the youngest judge ever. Arrgh, this can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo. You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly, and this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Crime sounds easier. Yeah, but freedom is nice. I think freedom is much nicer than doing crime. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It will take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. Small crime? That's kind of a big crime, stabbing someone. That's kind of a big one. A little bit big. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is the trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. For the record, the Dono honorific means Blackwell holds justice in very high regard. Interesting. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used to QB as a head covering? Wrap the statue? Maybe that one? Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth? In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Precisely. Bully for you, boy. Aw, it was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you two. Just close the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day, but this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. Arg! It's like Lord or like my lord. Very interesting. Now do you see how dull your mind is? I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightened inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mare with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the mare with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Athena, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mare with the statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed the alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry. Guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch. You meanie. I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So? My god, he's done it again. Who did? Did it again? So is this court to believe that the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Hoy, Fulbright. He's Fulbright now. Oh no, the detective is Fulbright. Fulbright, explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all that? Our investigation prowess is without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. Oh, the samurai person? I gotcha. The chef samurai. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters, so he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears. Absolutely, he knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is. Tenma who? Tenma Taro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to other, more plausible explanations. Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor, and as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here. The feathers and the tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believe the murder to be the work of the real Tenmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenmataro suit is the killer. Ah! The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect the blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself, fool Wright. Right, it was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known mass wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do the people of Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say! Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. Actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? His objection sounds cool for Blackwell. He is. This prosecutor, like I said, is probably the most dangerous one we've seen so far. Unlike Prosecutor Gavin, this guy has us just on the run. Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Cross-examination. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush up opposition to the municipal merger.
Hold it!
Most dangerous, absolutely, but also, honestly, the coolest. We haven't even seen his full power yet, we'll say. Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely. They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" And just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, the lowly yokai are no match for Tenmataro, the dark lord of their kind. Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenmataro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy. Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act? You're right here. You're right here, Mr. Cool. I'm glad you're here. Mayor Tenma panicked with the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters.
Hold it!
The amazing Ninetales. No one knows his true identity, right? That's right. And he was a lone wolf, or in other words, he did not belong into a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating out one Tenma town wrestler after another. And before anyone knew it, he was a champion. Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town pro wrestling. He was amazing. If there was a real superhero, it would be him. I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday. I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He could even team up with Prosecutor Blackwell. A police detective and a prisoner in chains? You know, I think people would actually pay to see that. I know I would. Ha ha ha. So you do understand the greatness of the amazing Ninetales. So we stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster.
Hold it!
Did the murder and yokai event evidence really stoke the villagers' fears? Absolutely. It had an immediate effect. The presumed return of the dreaded Tenmataro had them shaking in their boots. Oh my, is it really that bad? That superstitious lot. It's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus. I see. That's a very persuasive argument. The mere thought of his honor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks. The strange feathers and tracks he planted to make it look like a yokai was the killer.
Hold it!
We'll do hold it. I think evidence should be done there, but it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Cuby? Excellent point. It isn't it? If so, Your Honor agrees that there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killer was on the spur of the moment. The killing, rather. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. Startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Cuby's secret identity. Apollo! I think Prosecutor Blackquill has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This does not look good. This patch of fur was discovered at this crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Ninetails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your baldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Cuby, was the amazing Ninetails, and the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. No! Order! Order! What a shocking development! A motive clearer than crystal clear. What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At least we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your baldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona, just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your baldness. Right, now take a look at this. Alright. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Cuby's pocket. What? At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital, and that letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? You think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder and planted it into the Alderman's pocket? It's possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up a creek without a paddle. Yay! So many problems, so much evidence. Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planning the yokai things, but he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetails. So it was the amazing Ninetails' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the Alderman after planning the yokai evidence. That the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping Alderman after planting the feathers and tracks.
Hold it!
So let me get this straight. You believe the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after? Absolutely. And then he was knocked out cold by the Alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt. We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor. And we're going to need to prove that Mayor Tenma didn't plant the yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that? Well, oops, my bad. I don't know. I could show you all the cool thing that this game has. Just in case I get stuck on things. So let's take a guess. Diagram. I might ask you guys for assistance as well, if you guys figured it out. Maybe this?
Objection!
Okay, it's this. Good. Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo, and just what does this prove? You're even more confused than me. Well, it's for the ones like paying attention to the court stuff, I guess. If you can work it out like faster than me. That was the point of me streaming these games in the first place. Seeing if you guys can work out like what happened and what evidence to present. But reading it to you guys and having you watch is a lot more fun for me for some reason. It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence that was knocked out while killing the victim. His victim. Makes sense? Yeah, but that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. When? The footprints, maybe? Do you think, maybe?
Take that!
Are you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes, see how the feathers are on top of the blood, and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. But then the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself, the mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. Arrgh, there must be some mistake. Order! Order! But where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Ha 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 ha. Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness testimony for you. You do? But how? Was my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked? He's taking this really hard. Mr. Justice? What is this testimony regarding the third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness Jinxie Tenma saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks. Will somebody please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy. Your baldness. It appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion. Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? It's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around a corner in the hall. It was around here. That she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise. What? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense has just proved that there was someone else. The mayor isn't the killer? Was it all a setup? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all. Apollo, the momentum has shifted in our favor. Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Nope. Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying that there's a problem with my claim? Consider this. If that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it. Both Phineas Filch and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time, but they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Arg, why didn't those two see the Tenmataro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, the caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. Suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackquill? I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find, but when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did he just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know. Very well then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? The name's Filch, Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like. Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch. Ah, it's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Filch stole them again. They're all yours, your honor, sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Aw, ethics, smetics. Just take him if you want, and polish him up for you real nice, too. Bribing a judge, sending him to the chair. It's the spinny chair. Yeah, would Filch be in trouble for bribing a judge? Or giving him a present? Or whatever he's doing? I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tenmataro in the foyer after the murder. Here we go. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. I was still in my office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m., but I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree. This is like real court cases? Exactly. Kind of. Minus the murder Blackquill person. That yokai you keep jabbering about was but a phantom of a little girl's dreams. So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenmataro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the truth, the holy truth, not nutter butter the truth. And Tenmataro? Bah, you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo-jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. Oh! My bracelet? It's... Something the matter, Apollo? My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So, you think Mr. Filch has been lying to us? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit... Screech! What in the... What's a hawk doing in here? Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse, made it his new home, in fact. He doesn't live with you, you know. In jail? Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird? Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud, and that queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. So, how in trouble would Black Quill be now? He has a bird in courtroom. Plus, he just said queer, which is, homophobic. So, I think he's getting the death penalty after this, guys. This isn't some sort of trick or... Ah! I won't be able to squat like this. What the heck's going on around here? Run for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Screech! Heck, somebody help! Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we have to do this on the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tenmataro there, Filch should have seen him. We'll just have to pull our faith in Jinxie's statement for now. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. Yeah, Captain Chips, how massively in trouble is Blackquill in right now? Bringing a bird in court. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked.
Hold it!
Mr. Filch, why did Alderman QB have you handle guard duty? 'Cause he trusts me. I am the manor's caretaker, after all. So you took said guard duty seriously? Let me tell you something about me. I'm... Yipes! Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. This court wishes to hear what you did or didn't see in the foyer, and not else. Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Blackwill's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was guarding the foyer's entrance that day. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guests. So, no one could get to him? Sounds like the security was pretty tight. That's 'cause there's always lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. And the solution was to entrust the manor's security to a thief? It's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I don't know, it seems more like letting the fox guard the henhouse to me. So the witness testifies that he took the guard duty seriously? Yes, sir, your honorship, sir. I was still in my office, keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3 p.m.
Hold it!
Did you really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time? Poor old Filchy. Been working hard my whole life, only to be smeared by some greenhorn in his fancy-smancy suit and silly haircut. I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwell, sir. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh, Blackwell didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, they kept an eye. No, both of them, in fact, in the foyer. But I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. No, siree.
Hold it!
Could you describe to the court who you would consider fishy looking? Someone all fidgety and shifty, like, you know, like they're about to steal something? He just described himself. I wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Tenmataro. Maybe Jinxie only thinks she saw Tenmataro. Or maybe Mr. Filch is lying, and if he's lying, we might be able to spot a contradiction in his testimony. Sadly, this is one of those. I have no idea. Let's check the time of the murder. Around 3:20. This maybe?
Objection!
Nope. Complete odds. Your baldness. Ooh, me? What do you make of this objection of his? Oh, I don't know if I should, well... I have no patience for vagaries. Now answer my question. Yes, sir. The defense objection was clearly misguided. Bravo. Nicely done. Ho ho ho. Seems our misguided attorney has earned himself a penalty. I'd better look before I leap next time. Alright. Yep. No idea. Statement, maybe?
Objection!
Nope. Something wrong with that statement. Your gall knows no bounds. Shocking, really. What's that supposed to mean? You stand there brazenly objecting to perfectual factual statements. Shameless behavior. Penalty for a shameless attorney. Oh no, looks like Blackwell is turning the judge against me. Yeah, no idea, guys. No idea. This? 3.
Objection!
Oh, it is this. Don't lie to this court like that, Mr. Filch. Take that! Gotta yell, take that, in a loud, booming voice. And objection and all that stuff.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that. Fortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss. Ack! I did not watch that one. No, sirree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Yipes. Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, it was a complete disaster. Herg. So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy Poo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. I can do double duty, watching TV in the foyer at the same time. The only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is professional thief. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness was slacking off? That's correct. He claims to have been watching TV in the foyer at the same time, but that's nothing but a bald-faced lie. Bald, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice? And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV in the foyer simultaneously? Now prove it. Ooh. Save. Simultaneously, now prove it. Only problem is I don't know how. Maybe the foyer's thing here.
Take that!
I don't know. Okay, it's this, I guess. It's Beanbag this time? Huh? He's bad at his job, send him to the chair. You know it. Please take a look at the direction the TV is. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Why, yes, somehow, someone watching the TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly, and that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the foyer as you claim. Yipes! The bag's out of the cat, or I mean, other way around. He's standing on a crate thing. He's tiny. Order, order, order! But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case? It's very relevant because while he was slacking off watching TV, there's really could have been a Tenemataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? This. I'm not a mind reader. Ack! Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki? They were? Yes, they were. But you had already admitted to slacking off. Now, you say you weren't? My eyes might have been lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, 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 loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full-time. So's the liar, now you no good shyster. A lying thief calling me a shyster. This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackquill, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing, and them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Yipes! Please don't eat me, Mr. Taka, sir. The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful bird attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. So the judge is now allowing bird attacks now. Would the judge get in trouble for that? It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might be slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. The floor there's all creaky, squeaky like. No way I would have missed something walked by. So you see, there were no Tenmataro in the foyer. You would say so. Mr. Judge, you're in trouble. Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understand? A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense, for lacking that, our entire world would be but upside down. So the convict prosecutor, who is totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming around, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo. I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. It seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if we can't prove she saw Tenmataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted. Then we'd better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs. Defense may cross-examine the witness. Ears working overtime. It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. You are paid for your work, aren't you? How do you justify watching TV on the job? But it ain't easy being me. I mean, I can't watch TV when we have visitors and there's no way to record stuff. Sorry, am I supposed to be consoling you over your first world problems? If those are his only problems, he should consider himself lucky. I guess pro wrestling is a serious business to Mr. Filch. Bird attacks are fair play. How could you say no to a funny-looking bird? But he's awesome-looking, not funny-looking. But yes, I can't say no. If he's attacking this guy, it's fine. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. You lied earlier about taking your guard duty seriously, didn't you? Oh, that ain't no harm in bending the truth a little, right? Listen to me, you little tanuki. Lie again and Taka shall feast upon that forked tongue of yours. Screech! Yipes. Yipes, sorry, just let me keep my tongue. At least leave it until we get the truth out of him in any case. You were negligent in your duties, were you not? Yes, sir, I was, sir, but it ain't like that. I like Taka. He's a cool burb. The floor there's all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch. As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, the Tenmataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like jingle jangle. Jingle jangle? How does he do that? It's that staff of his. That's what jingle jangles. What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Tenmataro has a staff that makes noise. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said she saw Tenmataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. I guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tenmataro's jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information? Yeah! Extremely vital. I request that it be added to his testimony. The hawk scarf is prison attire fabric. That's awesome. Is Captain Chip still here, by the way? Haven't heard a lick of a peep from him. His staff going jingle jangle. But he normally doesn't have a staff, though. Objection! So what's the deal? I think so. Oh. Tenmataro's staff would make a jangly sound, you say? Well, I'm going to say that your story doesn't add up. Oh, you're doing things in the background. I asked you what you thought of the Burb. Would he get in trouble if Burb was here? Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Mr. Filch, you say you didn't see Tenmataro on the day of the incident. Why then did you assume just now that Tenmataro would be holding a staff? Huh? Oh yeah, no, animals are almost never allowed in the courtroom. Unless they're witnesses, right? Unless they testify. And now time for sleep. Aw, bye, Stars Over Hyrule. Have a good flippin' nap, alright? And I hope you appear tomorrow for a crazy good game. You'll see what it is, don't worry. But yeah, take care, my friend. Bye! You see, the Tenmataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands, and she described its sound just like you did, as kind of a jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your point? The point is that Tenmataro doesn't use a staff, not normally. What are you talking about? You see, this is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch? You're right. There's no staff, not even a cane or a walking stick. Ack! So the question is, why does the witness think Tenmataro uses a staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well now, this is getting interesting. Alright, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tenmataro carried a staff. Let's save real quick. Good night to ya. He actually saw it? Or the scroll is wrong? Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred. That's the only way he could possibly know about the staff. But busted again! Bloody hell, you duplicitous little... Yes, how'd that feel, Black Quill? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? In a minute, Mr. Filch, you did see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well... I'm begging ya, please don't make me say it. But clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact. No can do, no way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying he can be. He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is why. Mr. Filch is scared to death. Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Filch believes that too? So Mr. Big-Time City Slicker Lawyer has heard about him. Them old village superstitions. Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? People of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things, and their superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro. Darn straight, that's why. It's all right here. Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others. If you see him, ignoring the superstition will cost you your soul. One way to save it, your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your life? See? That's why us folks in Ninetales Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro. Oh, that's cool. That clears up one mystery. The killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer. What?
Objection!
Superstitions, you say? What kind of a fool would actually believe such rubbish? And with that, using some silly fairy tale could so easily expose the culprit. We need to come up with a more rational or common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackwell.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark, sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the Clink, but few are those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetails Vale. A life or death superstition might make even you a believer. Grr. Rawr! Order, order, I say! You fool of a Tanuki. 2 times now your lies have cost me. Sorry. I promise not to do it again. Taka, my fine feathered friend, have at him. Yipes! He's gonna eat me alive! Head for the hills! Ah, he took off. But bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men! That's certainly not something you see every day. While it would seem a new and important fact has come to light, a third party disguised as the yokai Tenmataro was at the scene, and now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? You was here. You was here for that moment. Oh. Uh-oh. What? Huh? His shackles. Urk. I'm too young to die. Justice, Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. You had best to say your prayers. Eek! Yeah, this is, kind of scary. Detective, do something! Ha ha ha, have no fear, Fulbright is here. When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going.
Objection!
Then get going already, before he kills us. Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackquill, for it is his sense of justice that sets him free. Objection, objection, I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice. I love his pose, too.
Silence!
His objection sounds cool, but when he says silence, it sounds even more cool. I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Oh, well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, can I ask you to, you know... I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. So Justice Dono's assertion is this. Tenmataro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. According to him, there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right, and that yokai, or rather, whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Cuby.
Silence!
Hack! Care to explain why Jigsy, being the first to discover the murder, did not see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox Chamber? What? He's right, she said nothing about Tenmataro being in the Fox Chamber. Let me enlighten you. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. And your point is? Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewed murder victim, the alderman, and the homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been someone dressed up like Tenma. Ag! Then, why doesn't that little scamp claim not to have seen the yokai in the Fox Chamber? Considering her father is accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room. I don't understand. Why didn't she see Tenmataro inside the Fox Chamber? There is but one way to find out. Ask Jinxie Tenma whether she saw your killer yokai at the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. The final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long has my blade thirsted for blood. At long last it shall be sated. Wait, this is still a trial, right? Show me what you're truly capable of. Justice, Dono! But very well then. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So this court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash your hands. See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. I declare Prosecutor Blackquill the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? Whew! What a game, huh? What a court case. He busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess they don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. You've really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy and the whole samurai act anyway? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it is high time I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a duel. No, wait, let's save the dueling until after we prove your innocence. Suppose it could wait till later. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Athena, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackquill said, Apollo. Don't be late. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jinxie Tenma, the maid at QB Manor. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is. Nario something. Leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist. Wow, that is one well-polished tray. The witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. Eek! What is it, my child? Begone, Narairion, leader of the 100 demons. Ho ho ho. Think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as the judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. Eek! My chasm has no effect! Or my charm, rather. The demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one. Now, you little scamp. Yes? I trust you know why you're here. Bags! Bags? Oh, that tricksy tanuki? Try the noodle stand, and go enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I mean your bags, the ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azukiarai away. Azukiarai, the yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only things needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off. Azukirai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans, but if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackquill got more than he bargained for. It's bad enough alone, but together that those two are just plain creepy. A testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenma Taro when you discovered the crime scene. Did I see Tenma Taro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door... Shiver. I saw... Yes, now I remember. Yokai. Yokai! Right in that room. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Shiver. Uh-huh. Lots, and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenmataro happen to be among them? I don't know. I just don't know. All I know is the room was spinning in yokai, swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Seto, Taisho, Eek, they were all there. Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony. Yerk! Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear, but a quick therapy session should ease her mind, with the court's permission, of course. What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. You're sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused, a regular ball of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackquill? Should we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. Should be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. It's time for this, guys. Oh dear. Did I see Tenmataro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, shiver, I saw. Now I remember. Yokai right there in that room. Found something. Looks like an out-of-control emotion. Athena? What exactly are we looking at here? Weird screen, where's the rest of it? This is the weird screen. Yeah, out-of-control emotions are probably not good. Oh, it's one of Widget's functions. Right here you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Whoa, you mean that little thing can do all this? Pretty cool, huh? And here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Unfortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. Did I see Tenmataro in the fox chamber? See how sad is brightly lit there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. It seems that sheer terror she experienced has made her a confused mess. So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are product of some rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear has instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma, and the trauma in Jinxie's case is fear. So she was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai. I'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Let's see. Yokai right there in that room! Paulo, can you point out that yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by pressing probe. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try to get your heart to the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. Yokai right there in that room! Cat monster on a Wheel of Fire. Probe.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name for that yokai on the Wheel of Fire? That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermint. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out what she thought was a yokai on the Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now. Jinxie, it wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? The chandelier. The light fixture. This one right here, it has a flame design and is up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a wheel of fire. The kasha you saw was just a light fixture. Eek! The yokai are fading? Maybe? Oh. That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster? But that's Narukiba. It's a wall monster that blocks your way to or leads you astray. That's not yokai. That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. Eek! And this raccoon dog isn't a tanuki monster. It's just the statue of one. Eek! And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, it's nothing more than a fox statue. Eek! I don't know what I was thinking. Her plate cracked. Oh, it's better. You did it, Apollo. Her extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See? A clear-cut statement. It's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. And just like we thought, there never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right, there never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. Wait, Jinxie, what about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking! Well, she is. Order in the court. I think we just dug our own grave. Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I could do. No! Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. Does that mean Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information we have and run an update. Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? Well, I was so scared when I entered the room. My legs gave out and I fell to the floor. Info update. There in the Fox Chamber I saw Shiver. The alderman dead on the table and Papa collapsed in a chair. And nobody else was there, and that includes Tenmataro. Wait, what am I supposed to do? How do I find the emotions that contradict your statements? So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out? That's right. Watch the language, Mr. Cool, alright? No F-bombs. You only get one per stream, remember? Should also keep an eye out for sudden changes in emotion's intensity. Our emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. Important to compare how the same emotions changes throughout the testimony. Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Save the game. Fell to the floor. Shiver. Dead bodies. Nobody else was there. Whoops. So if no one else was there, why is she still scared?
Got it!
That's wrong. This seems like an unnatural reaction. Really? Because I don't see it that way. So it isn't unexpected to given her testimony? Hello? Is there anybody in there? Just not if you can hear me. Guess there's someone at home and that someone is going to try that again. I have no idea then. I was so scared. Legs gave out. Saw Shiver. Pop it in the thing. Nobody else was there. Were you still sad then?
Got it!
Nope. Yeah, I'm a big stupid idiot. I was so scared. She's asking about it and is scared?
Got it!
Well, I guess we're gonna do them all, guys, until I find the right one.
Got it!
'Cause I have no flippin' idea. Oops. No, 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 no. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back.
Got it!
The emotion thing is complicated. It's not that complicated. I'm just stupid. And I don't remember anything.
Got it!
You have to actually know what you're doing to do this part. My legs gave out as I fell to the floor. Maybe the sadness is not that strong here?
Got it!
Alright, I guess it's this one. The amount of fear you felt is rather low despite your legs having given out from fright. Could something have lessened your fear? Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage at that moment. You did? Where did it come from? Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as if she was there with me. Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage. Now let's see. Ah, look. Info update. Arrgh. Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinx, you seem to have remembered everything now. Bye-bye. A sudden burst of courage. Now where could that have come from? Jinxie, was there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage? Yes there was, but I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later. Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? Well, there is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. What if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime? Jinxie, did you suddenly have a burst of courage that had anything to do with this? And again, no idea. Burst of courage. This maybe?
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a nine-tails flower there at the scene, did you? Ah! The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a nine-tailed flower on it. I liked it so much, I kept it. You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene. That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce that evidence this instant. Sorry. It does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look, something slid out. It appears to be a key. Might I have a look, your baldness? The bird just took it. This is none other than the master key to QB Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder. A master key? That went missing? Why don't I like the sound of that? Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence. That's a little melodramatic, don't you think? Heed those words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the fox chamber had been in this little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who could use it before, during, and after the murder, which leaves the master key as the only other key that could have opened the chamber. But this master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl. And your point is? Until Jinxie Tenma opened the fox chamber with her key, the room had been locked tight from the outside world, and there was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. I trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma and himself would be utterly inconceivable. No! How could this happen? No. The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations. Athena, are you alright? I know Maritima innocent, but there's nothing we can do. This sucks. Sykes, Dono. Allow me to put you out of your misery. Can I decline your offer? Abandon your client and your misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and a clean conscience come rushing in. They will make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept. Great, now he's playing Simon Says with us. Well, he's not going to fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks. Now I'm the one who's dazed and confused. I can't even think straight. Hey, are you alright? She fell right into his trap. Now I suggest you make a mad dash from the courtroom and into the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed. Alright, I'll be back in 10. Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. Apollo? Mr. Justice? I heard the word objection, but what is it you object to? Huh? Oh, right. That objection was more of a reflex than anything else. Though I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena. The court is waiting, Mr. Justice, though as it stands now, I'll be forced to declare your client guilty and your legal skills to suspect. This is it. Do you have anything that could overturn the prosecution's case? Well, actually, I do. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine. Apollo, you do have something more than your cords of steel, don't you? Not really, but we'll be fine. But... I've got absolutely nothing, but that's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. Besides, because it's all over if I don't. Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. What a doozy that locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that could counter the prosecution's argument? You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die, literally. The defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room. You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. The room had a window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all of the absolute impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. Window maybe? And just how did the killer escape through there, Mr. Justice? Your reasoning skills seem as questionable as your proposed escape route. I wish I could escape right now. Nope, not the window. Is it guide time, guys? I'll try the vent and then the forbidden chamber. The air duct, obviously. The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jigsy Tenma came on the scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key, I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right. I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese steel waiting, unless you explain yourself quickly. I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because... The phone, maybe? Got someone to help? I don't think so. I don't know if there was a phone. Tenma locked it, locked on its own. The perp locked it from the outside. Try this one. Maybe the door closed accidentally on its own? Ack! The killer will never be identified if we have to give him a mere chance. That's the wrong answer, you stupid fudging idiot. Yeah, like I said, guys, I only played this one time, so I don't remember. What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door and then locked it. Ouch! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact. Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. If only we could explain both. Like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from outside. Well, let's see if the defenses can respond before Prosecutor Blackwell draws his sword. How could the master key be at the crime scene despite the room being locked tight? Save the game again. Slipped in when the door was open, threw it from the outside, changed the lock. I have no freaking idea. Slipped it in when the door was... Threw it from outside, maybe. I don't know. Well, if someone threw it into the room from the outside, you know, something like... Go out of the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There is a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility. Oh, right. Ack! I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window? Could the key have been tossed in through somewhere other than the window? What a strange tale. Evidently not that. The air duct.
Take that!
The air vent? Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber, then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Herg! That's preposterous. Ooh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even your honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tenma murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was go back through the air duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing, even I could follow that. The judge seems really pleased. It explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up as like Tenma, and there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Looks like that lawyer is beating the jailbird prosecutor. Well, that was a total turnabout. That massive forehead of his seems so much more attractive now. Order, I say. Now that I've proven a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence!
A valiant effort, Justice Dono, but your final thrust has missed its mark. Huh? Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? But that's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the... Youch! But that is impossible, without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric eye here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Tenmataro anywhere in the security footage. Whoa, what? Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good. Wait, I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right.
Silence!
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigative prowess to boot. That is the cliff side of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right? Ha! I suppose your next proposal is the killer spreaded wings and flew off into the sunset. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. Only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As complete far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Whoa, I thought I was the one with the cords of steel. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor, what evidence do you have that the killer flew away? Maybe this? Take a look at the special edition paper. Tenmataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out of the window? Mr. Justice, you are not seriously suggesting... Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tenmataro flew away, you know, by some way or another.
Silence!
It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is not but trick photography, or some other form of artifice. Okay then, how about the Tenmataro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air? No, there is a rational, common-sense explanation for that. The infernal yokai or tricksy Tanuki witness was never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the cameras. Electric eye. She? I don't like where this is going one bit. Now the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Gulp. Not good. Not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Tenmataro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma. Welp. Not good. Arg! No! Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever. The little scamp was, no doubt, simply trying to protect her father, and it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackfield's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convincing than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window. Did you truly believe this could end any other way? Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of Yorwood. Oh dear. Mayor Tenma? This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess? Wait. Apollo! Prosecutor Blackquill's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone. The real killer is... Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown away. Ka. Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return. Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. Huh? Ka. Foolish mortals. I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek. Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to the forbidden chamber. Behold, the return of the Demon King! What the? Demon King? Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation! Witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Ha, what nonsense. So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now? Ka. His body is now mine. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that yokai that Jinxie saw and Phineas Filch saw? And the one captured in the newspaper photo? Those were all you? The accursed power of these warding charms prevents me from revealing my true form. Your baldness. Can this not be interpreted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Oh yeah, this case is getting weird. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer, as the one who escaped from the locked fox chamber, but it was the accused all along. Arg! Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking, for the alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene, that too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How so, Prosecutor Blackquill? It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman in the fox chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warding charms from the forbidden chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled onto the scene of the crime. Innocent by insanity. I don't know about that. He might be guilty by insanity. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the charm's warding effect, took possession of the mare. The newly freed Tenma then fled from the Fox Chamber. So you see, the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma. But when we arrived on the scene, the mare was found unconscious. How is that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of Kyubey Manor, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenma? Oh. Arg! Or ag. Ka. That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time I did, but presently tired I made for the Forbidden Chamber. But alas, exhausted took me unawares in the Fox Chamber, and I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Black Quill up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live... So the rumor about the Mare Tenma is true? I knew yokai were real. I mean, he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma? Order! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai. The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, your baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai be even prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mare Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice but to...
Silence!
This is the dark age of the law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep tonight? Knowing you will not let the sun rise on the mayor's day of reckoning, Justice Dono.
Objection!
I won't fabricate any evidence.
Silence!
Then prove it by joining me. A night in the clink will ensure you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict is all but... What's wrong with him? Prosecutor Blackquill, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that. Huff. What in the devil was that? Wright, have you tampered with my shackles in some manner? It seems you found that quite shocking. It's my special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. Fulbright is back. Yep. Your Honor, you need not fear now. I believe Prosecutor Blackquill will remain on his best behavior. A bit late with the reassurances, aren't we, Detective? Well, in that case, would Bobby Fulbright be in trouble by shocking the prosecutor? But he's a convict, though. Would he still get in trouble? I don't know. Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned. Whew. My word, guys. My goodness. The prosecutor's a jerk, but he's awesome, though. He's cool and awesome. This flippin' room. Having a yokai testify in court is unprecedented, to say the least. I am Tenma, the yokai you seek. How could such a straight-laced man like Mr. Tenma suddenly become a demon? Yeah, it's strange. What do you mean to be continued? It's the next chapter. That's what it means. Even worse, Prosecutor Blackquill is playing along. I can't even think straight anymore. Need to go out for a run. See you in a bit. Wait, what about the investigation? Back! Eek! Whoa, Shusi, welcome back. Oh, you're in your stage outfit. Back from work? Yep, I really nailed this new magic trick I've been working on. I also heard about those tricks that were conjured up in her court earlier today. You know, the demon out of nowhere trick and Polly's tightrope style defense trick. I was seriously considering a disappearing act of my own after all that craziness. Anyway, our next trick is to find a suspect other than the mayor. I know that killer must have used the air duct in their escape, and whoever did that was the Tenmo Taro that Mr. Filch and Jinxie saw. Right, maybe there's some evidence in the air duct. The real fight starts right now. Hey, before you go, let me make the evidence you no longer need disappear. 3, 2, 1, ta-da! Unnecessary evidence has disappeared into Juicy's magic panties. I wonder where all that stuff goes. Into her panties, obviously. Okay, let's get to the... get over to the scene of the crime. Vamonos, Apollo! Vamonos! Detective Fulbright, mind if we search the air duct? Well, since you really are on the side of justice, I suppose I can let you. Plus, my own sense of justice has been called into doubt, so... Wonder if he's been like this ever since the trial. While the sense of justice has been beaten to a pulp, it'll probably take a while for him to recover. I sort of feel bad for him, but we have work to do. Let's go get the evidence we need. The air duct is the key. We know the Tenma Taro impersonator used it to make an escape. After murdering the alderman, the killer left the fox chamber through the hallway door. Yep, there's a quote from me. Then after locking the door from the outside, the killer entered the air duct in the hallway. I'm full of weird quotes, huh? Finally, the killer dropped the key into the fox chamber through the air vent ear. Then went back through the duct and fled the manor. That's how the illusion of no one entering or leaving the locked room was created. If the killer passed through the air duct, maybe we'll find some evidence there. Yeah, maybe some black feathers or something like that. Well, here's our vent. It's awfully high up. Don't worry, I brought a stepladder. Happy hunting! How nice of her to volunteer me for the job. Whoa, it's pitch black in here. Well, here goes nothing. Cough, cough, wheeze, sputter, cough, cough. There's a thick layer of dust in here. Cough, cough, wheeze, sputter, cough, cough. I don't get it. Find anything? Yikes! Apollo, what happened? You're covered in dust. Yeah, dust. Lots of dust. So what'd you find? You know how dust collects on something when nobody uses it for a long time? Yeah, like Mr. Wright's desk back at the office. Right. You think it'd be possible to crawl over that sort of dust without leaving a trail? I seriously doubt it. Wait, you're not suggesting... No one's gone through the duct lately? Kinda looks that way. And if that's true, Mayor Tenma's going to be figured as the killer. But if we don't turn things around quickly... In justice we trust. Ack! Sorry, Mr. Justice, but it seems your justice was not the most just after all. It is my sense of justice that has prevailed. Arg! Detective Fulbright sure seems chipper all of a sudden. And I'm back to my old devastated self. Oh, come on, where's that never-say-die spirit? Bring it on, Mr. Lawyer Man, bring it on. Let me suffer in peace. Injustice, justice prevails once more. It's not over yet, and besides, picking someone when they're down is what bad guys do. Ack. Are you calling me a bad guy? Me, Bobby Fulbright, champion of justice? How about some information on the investigation? We need some help here. Information? About the investigation? Alright, but I won't have you calling me a bad guy ever again. Understood? We did it, Apollo? Yeah, but how long can we keep this up? Alright. With that, guys, I think I'm gonna save the game right there. And tomorrow we will play something new, actually. Justice is just justly unjust. Oh my god, that's a lot of justices. But yeah, guys, yep, 3-hour stream, as is per the usual now. But yep, tomorrow is gonna be a very, very, very special day. The start of Skyrim starts tomorrow, guys. I am flippin' excited. I am pumped, or hyped as they say. So yeah, Mowing Mine will also be tomorrow. But yeah, take care, guys. Thank you all for sticking around and watching the stream. Next time we'll solve this case for sure, hopefully. But yeah, take care. I love you all, and I'll see all of you on the tomorrows. Bye. Bye.